Good morning and welcome to On the Money right here on WDBO AM 580, always streaming inside your WDBO app. If you want to join the conversation, you may want to get ready because we got Chris Toadvine and Joe Bert, two certified financial planners with the Certified Financial Group, here taking your calls as part of the only call-in program of its kind, the most listened to, the most talked about, the most informative financial advising show here in Central Florida because they are working with the team at Certified Financial Group. All the awards, all the accolades that this team has earned over the decades of serving the Central Florida community and the decades of, providing information to the listeners of WDBO here on the Money. Chris, Joe, how are we doing this wonderful day?
Good morning. Good morning. Good to be here with you as you're
warm.
Yeah. Hopefully this is the last of the cold weather, man.
I think it is.
I hope so. I thought we were over it last week, but it just keeps on coming. Anyway, Chris and I are here this morning to take our listeners' calls, things that might be on their mind regarding your personal finances, ideas or questions that you have regarding your IRA or 401k, long-term health care, reverse mortgages, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, all the things that Chris and I and the 15 other certified financial planners work with our clients day in and day out, providing retirement planning and investment management for a fee. But on Saturday morning, we are here for you absolutely free. So if anything on your mind, things you heard about, rumors you may have, little dilemmas that you're trying to solve, that's why we are here. So the good news for you is the lines are absolutely wide open. And I see we have a call already, Josh. So if you want to jump to that, we can jump right on it.
You got it. We'll get to Bob in just 1 second. If you want to join Bob with your question, the number to call is 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO, or send in your open mic using the WDBO app. Again, Chris Toadvine, Joe Bert, two certified financial planners with the Certified Financial Group here taking your calls. Let's go over to Melbourne, to the coast, where Bob's calling in. Go ahead, Bob. You're on the air.
Good morning, Bob. What's up?
Hi, good morning.
How you doing?
I started taking Social Security in 23, and the only reason I owed income taxes in 23 and 24 was because of the Social Security income, and I'm making estimated tax payments for 25 based on previous year taxes. And if there's a real chance that Social Security will not be taxed in 25, I would probably owe no taxes. I just wonder if you have an opinion on that possibility.
Oh, man.
Well, it's going to happen. It probably won't happen.
Your crystal ball looking like this morning?
Well, I don't think that's going to happen. It certainly sounded good on the trail there with the president. And I know a lot of folks are in favor of it, but I don't think I need to tell you the situation, the financial situation that Social Security is in. We need to keep that money continuing to come in, and the taxation that you pay on your Social Security is really money going back into the system. So I don't think it's going to happen. It might be a little bit more means tested. In other words, the threshold amount. You want to go over those?
Well, yeah, the threshold amounts could go up, Joe.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, because right now, Bob, I'm not sure where your income is, but for a married couple, you don't pay any tax on your Social Security if you have less than $32,000 of income. And then, from 32 to 44, you would pay tax on 50%. In other words, 50% of your Social Security would be included in your income. And then over 44,000, you would have to, may or may not pay tax, but include 85%. So in other words, if you get $10,000 a year in Social Security, you'd have to include $8,500 on your tax return. And so that's what I think a lot of people, Bob, don't realize is that no one pays tax on 100% of their Social Security. Donald Trump, Elon doesn't collect it, but think of Warren Buffett. He does not have to pay tax on every dollar of Social Security he gets, but those thresholds, I don't know that they've ever been indexed, Joe.
No, they
I
haven't.
think they have. And
They
so
have not.
I think that, it's possible that those amounts could go up. I could see that happening, and that would kind of be a win for both sides if they went up a little bit. But I'm with Joe. I mean, we're looking for revenue right now anywhere we can get it. And so I just don't see it going away, because I think that, there are some folks out there, it's kind of like Medicare premiums, in that, not everyone pays the same thing for Medicare. And even those who pay the most for it based on their income still get a heck of a deal. And so I kind of think the same with Social Security, that there are some out there who, I was reading about Oracle's CEO and founder, Larry Ellison, yesterday. He's 80 years old. And we were talking about how he supports, I think, University of Michigan. His wife went there. She's 33. And so someone like that, yeah. So I like them apples. But nonetheless, he owns an island in Hawaii. So should he pay a little tax on his Social Security benefit? I think he can probably afford it. And there are those out there like that, Bob. So I think the means testing idea, which is really what we have now, is likely to stick around, but I could see that going up, and I kind of hope it does for the sake of many of my clients. So
to answer your question, I guess, was what do we think that that will happen? Social Security not being taxed. I don't think that's in the cards. I think the first thing they need to do is extend the tax bill. That's the big major hurdle that we've got to get through this year is the renewal of the tax cuts that were implemented by Donald Trump's first term in office, and we'll see if that happens. And
we'll see. I think the assumption out there, Joe, I believe, is that will happen, and it's just a matter of time. And I don't know how, if at all, that would be enhanced. But I've kind of been operating personally under that assumption, and you never know. But
the other big thing they threw out there was no taxes on tips.
No tax. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And that played well politically.
In Nevada.
I would have to say, I think for a lot of people, they already don't pay taxes on tips.
Exactly.
Particularly cash tips.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet now so many of us use a card wherever we go, and that runs through the system of the restaurant. And so, it probably does get included as income. But, for folks who are working for tips, they're not the highest compensated folks, and they may not pay much tax at all if that's all they have.
No. But while we're on taxation, what's your thought about remember the old fair tax?
The fair tax. I kind of like the fair tax, Joe. I really thought it was fair because you know what it does? It encourages people to save.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
If you spend more, you pay more.
Exactly.
For those who are savers, they pay less, and I just like the idea that everyone pays proportionate. And I think that we live in a great country, and I will say at the outset here, I'm all for helping those who are down and out. But I do think that my experience in life, I'll say, is that if you don't pay for something you don't appreciate, and we all enjoy the common defense, we enjoy an interstate system that's great, safe food, water, all the rest. And I know there could be some political jokes about that this morning, but we'll stay away from that. But that said, the fair tax was that everyone would pay a percentage, of what they spend. And I kind of like that idea.
Yeah, I think there was some exclusion for certain income levels or something that some people didn't, the lower income people would get some kind of maybe a credit. But I think what it does, Chris, is it really brings in the underground economy. I mean, how much of our economy today is barter or cash?
Well, that's exactly right.
It's huge.
And the illicit things that happen within the economy. And, I'm sure you've seen it over the years. Look, I worked in a number of restaurants, back in the day. And of course, there was more cash in circulation, I think, then. Now with the debit cards and all, like I say, many of us use those. But I also know that some of the restaurants that I worked in, they would pull $100 a day or so out of the drawer.
Of course.
And that would hit the pocket. And so I started doing the math on that one time. And you think about over the course of a year, particularly if there are multiple outlets, that's substantial money. And so I think that, hey, most people do have to pay tax on all their income. And I think it's only fair that if you earn it, you subject it to taxes. And then there are plenty of deductions and opportunities maybe to reduce your taxable income. But Bob, you really opened a can of worms here this morning.
Well, I just guess the bottom line is I probably should make estimated tax payments for 25.
If it was me, Bob, I would. Until I would err on the side of safety instead of sorrow. And, we'll see where it goes. So
chances are if that does happen, it won't be effective until 26. So you're pretty much going to have
that's going to be a real tax Armageddon because that's when my RMDs.
Oh, okay. Get prepared.
The plot thickens, Bob.
Well, Bob, this is the opportunity, if you're in that low tax bracket, to do some Roth conversions, as we talked about an awful lot on this program.
I've been doing incremental Roth
Oh, there you go.
conversions for 20 years.
for you.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Right,
So you're
boy.
ahead of the curve.
Yeah, good job.
Well, listen, Bob, we appreciate your call as always, and you have yourself a great weekend.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Take care.
And I see we got another call teed up there. Josh, take it away.
You got it. If you want to join in, we got Joe Bert and Chris Toadvine, 2 certified financial planners with the Certified Financial Group, taking your calls live on the air, 844-580-9326. Wayne calling in from St. Cloud. Go ahead, Wayne.
Good morning, Wayne.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, I appreciate your show. You guys give a lot of information. Can you please help me understand the details of an index annuity? I think it's I'm not crazy about annuities from what I've heard. I think they're like a trap. I mean, can you explain how all that works?
Yeah, sure.
Well, let's talk about first of all the basics of an annuity.
Yeah, what are annuities, Wayne? I think that's a place to start because, annuity, I tell folks, saying annuity is like saying car, right? And that car could be a 72 Chevette. It could be, a 2025 Lamborghini, right? I mean, you gotta ask some questions and understand what's going on under the hood, so to speak. So with annuities, there are several flavors or types of annuities. And what you're likely talking about with an index annuity would fall into the category of deferred annuity, because the old annuities, Wayne, were really just you traded a lump sum of money for a stream of payments, kind of like a pension. And that was an annuity. That's really where annuities started. That's what they were. And then insurance companies realized, wait a minute, people don't like to trade a lump sum of money and just get a stream of payments often. Some will, but many don't. And so they came up with something called a deferred annuity. Okay. And deferred annuity it just refers to a type of annuity that you put money in and you don't intend to take it out, right away. Okay. Or turn on that stream of payments. So it gets to grow tax deferred. And, the accumulation, let's say you put $100 in there and it grows to $110. Well, you don't have to pay tax on that $10 till you take it out. So that's the whole idea of deferring, similar to an IRA. Okay, similar to an IRA. Now, under that umbrella of deferred annuity, you with me, Wayne?
Yeah,
Okay.
I follow you so far. And I'll
Okay,
explain
cool.
why I asked the question.
Okay.
So under the umbrella of deferred annuity, you have 3 basic types. You have fixed, you have variable, and you have indexed.
And we'll
Okay.
continue that right at the break because I see we're up against it. So stay
Wayne.
tuned.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Thank you so much, Wayne. Again, if you're listening right now and a question popped into your head, feel free to call in 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO. Joe Bert, Chris Toadvine, 2 certified financial planners with the Certified Financial Group. Tune in now. We got more coming up for you. 844-580-WDBO. You're listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow
Today.
with the Certified Financial Group.
Professionals acting as fiduciaries have been providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the 3rd or 4th generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're a Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. Our fiduciary approach of providing retirement planning and investment management for a fee seems to resonate with our clients. But don't take my word for it.
I knew a gentleman that I worked with who had come to Certified Financial Group.
A friend of mine recommended them, and they were totally correct how good they are.
I had heard from somebody else that it was the best one in town.
I've sent several of my teacher friends here.
We're a Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. You may be new to the area, but we're not. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries, have been providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the 3rd or 4th generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. Black Monday, the dot-com bust, 9/11, and now 2 wars. We've pretty much seen it all. Acting as fiduciaries, our CFP professionals have been a steady hand guiding our clients to and through their retirement years.
No reason to be worried about anything.
Stay the course. You stay the course, and you get there.
I don't have to worry about it. Like I know a lot of people look at it every day. I don't have to do that with the team here at Certified Financial Group.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. Are you tired of trying to reach your advisor through a call center and being put on hold for 20 minutes? That's why we don't use one, and our clients seem to appreciate the personal touch.
They always answer my questions and really care about what's going on with me.
You can trust what they say, and they do what they say, and it gives you a comfort feeling it's hard to find in the world today.
Waiting for you to call almost. You almost feel like that.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today.
As an investor, you want peace of mind. You need to know that your advisor is not only thoroughly competent, but also a fiduciary. In other words, he or she is acting at all times in your best interests. You need to trust your advisor, regardless of how much money you have to invest or what part of the world you're in. It might not be your money you're entrusting the advisor with. Perhaps you're a board member of a charity or foundation whose future depends on prudent investment. Or perhaps you have the responsibility of making investment decisions on behalf of other people. As the trustee of a retirement plan, the decisions you make can have a direct impact on the lives of your employees. Whatever type of investor you are, the solution is to use an advisor certified by the Center for Fiduciary Excellence. A CFEX certified advisory firm demonstrates its adherence to a global fiduciary standard of excellence, a defined standard with specific criteria covering 21 best practices. The documented, repeatable processes and the evidence-based decision-making that CFEX demands are more likely to generate investment portfolios that match client needs and expectations. And because the firm voluntarily agrees to a rigorous annual audit, investors can rest assured that their advisor continues to work to the highest professional standards. This independent verification is even more critical for trustees and investment committee members of retirement plans who are legally required to conduct regular due diligence on their service providers.
Welcome back to On the Money here on WDBO AM 580, always streaming inside your WDBO app. If you want to join the conversation, we got Chris Toadvine, certified financial planner with the Certified Financial Group, sitting next to Joe Bert, also certified financial planner with the Certified Financial Group. We're talking to Wayne, who called in asking about annuities, index annuities, and we can get back to that answer in just 1 second. But if you want to get your answer on the air, if you want to pick the brains of these experts in the financial advising field, call in right now, 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO, or send in your open mic using the free WDBO app. Chris, Joe, we were going to wrap up that topic.
Yeah, we started with each call about what's an index annuity, and we thought we would lay the groundwork of really what is an annuity. Annuity is nothing more than a contract issued by an insurance company. They will take your money and do certain things with it and promise you certain returns based on what flavor you choose. So we start off fixed annuities, variable annuities, index annuities.
Well, that's right, Joe.
Shapes
So
and
we
sizes.
were all different shapes and sizes. So we were talking about, we're just level setting what is an annuity. As Joe said, it's a contract with an insurance company. And then we said there are 3 flavors, and our caller specifically asked about what is an index annuity. A fixed annuity just pays a fixed rate of interest. A variable annuity on the other end of that spectrum is invested in the market, so you can take a lot more risk with the hope and expectation that you're going to get a higher return over time. And then somewhere in the middle, but closer to the fixed annuity, would be an index annuity. And what an index annuity is the return or the interest, let's say, that you're credited, the rate of that interest is tied to a particular index, right, Joe?
Yep.
So it could be the S&P 500 is the most common one, But there are lots of other indices out there, or indexes out there, that are more esoteric. And so for our caller, what is an index annuity? It's a conservative, many of them, and even within that genre of annuity, there are a couple different types, but many of them guarantee your principal, so you can't lose. That's what, is often pitched at seminars. And many of these, as the caller alluded to, Joe, are what I call a roach motel.
You got it.
You can get in, but you can't get out. That's right. And I also find that many index annuities are sold and not bought. People don't go into an advisor's office saying, hey, I want an indexed annuity. They get sold on the idea of it, not understanding what it really is. I'm not saying they're all bad. I am biased towards the fiduciary indexed annuities. Many of the commissionable products have very lengthy surrender schedules, meaning your money can be locked up for 10 years or more.
One thing we could probably guarantee you, if you've been introduced to this through a free lunch or dinner seminar, that's a roach motel.
Yeah, that's right, because they got to pay for that Ruth's Chris meal.
Yeah,
right?
As much as they will say, I'm a fiduciary, we're a fiduciary, we work with the fiduciaries, high probability that if they're pitching annuities, that it is a roach motel.
It's a roach motel. And so I think, it's always a good idea to get a second opinion on these kinds of things and make sure it fits within your plan. How is this going to work within your planning, and not just as the kind of be-all, end-all Swiss Army knife of the investment world where you can make a lot of money, but you don't lose money. What I would say is the returns on those tend to be pretty modest over time. They tend to approximate fixed annuity yields, and of course we all like the upside potential, but keep in mind that the companies can and do change what's known as the cap rate, right, Joe?
Right, what they're going to give you.
What they're going to give you, and that starts off kind of high. And then, ironically, once you're in the motel, once you're in there, guess what?
You got to pay for the TV.
Yeah, that's right. You got to pay for the TV. You got to pay for the towel
and the vibrator brick. You remember that? That's probably.
That was before my time. But as a small child, I do remember once or twice seeing at the Motor Inn.
Yeah.
You could deposit a quarter.
Right. Get the vibrator.
Yeah. So anyway, we're getting
right.
in the ditch here.
But anyway, annuities in and of themselves are not bad. The thing is that they are, unfortunately, they're oversold, missold, and people try to put a square peg in a round hole. And by the time you're done having dinner, it's going to sound like the end-all, cure-all. You can be in the market, don't take a risk, going to get you all your money back. And on top of that, we're going to give you a 20% return on your money.
But wait, there's more. Yeah, that's right.
It'll do everything but wash your car.
Well, look, but Joe, what we are finding, though, is people who have more guaranteed fixed income tend to be happier in retirement.
That's correct.
So I think that there is a place for, and some people can afford more variability with their investments than others. And so for some people, they can work within a plan, and you don't always have to hand over a lump sum,
right.
In order to get the guarantees. So.
Right. So you just got to be careful.
You got to be careful.
Very, very careful out there. And I see we're up against the break there. Josh, take it away.
You got it. If you want to join in, 844-580-9326 is the number to call, 844-580-WDBO, or send in your question using the open mic feature inside the free WDBO app. You're listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow with the Certified Financial Group.
Acting as fiduciaries, our CFP professionals have been a steady hand guiding our clients to and through their retirement years.
No reason to be worried about anything.
Stay the course. You stay the course, and you get there.
I don't have to worry about it. Like I know a lot of people look at it every day. I don't have to do that with the team here at Certified Financial Group.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. Are you tired of trying to reach your advisor through a call center and being put on hold for 20 minutes? That's why we don't use one, and our clients seem to appreciate the personal touch.
They always answer my questions and really care about what's going on with me.
You can trust what they say, and they do what they say, and it gives you a comfort feeling it's hard to find in the world today.
Waiting for you to call almost. You almost feel like that.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today.
As an investor, you want peace of mind. You need to know that your advisor is not only thoroughly competent, but also a fiduciary. In other words, he or she is acting at all times in your best interests. You need to trust your advisor, regardless of how much money you have to invest or what part of the world you're in. It might not be your money you're entrusting the advisor with. Perhaps you're a board member of a charity or foundation whose future depends on prudent investment. Or perhaps you have the responsibility of making investment decisions on behalf of other people. As the trustee of a retirement plan, the decisions you make can have a direct impact on the lives of your employees. Whatever type of investor you are, the solution is to use an advisor certified by the Center for Fiduciary Excellence. A CFEX certified advisory firm demonstrates its adherence to a global fiduciary standard of excellence, a defined standard with specific criteria covering 21 best practices. The documented, repeatable processes and the evidence-based decision-making that CFEX demands are more likely to generate investment portfolios that match client needs and expectations. And because the firm voluntarily agrees to a rigorous annual audit, investors can rest assured that their advisor continues to work to the highest professional standards. This independent verification is even more critical for trustees and investment committee members of retirement plans who are legally required to conduct regular due diligence on their service providers. Use a CFEX certified firm, and that job has been done already by an expert at no expense to the plan. So why leave anything to chance? Insist on working with investment professionals you can truly trust. Insist on using a CFEX certified advisor.
So you guys don't know Chicago, but I'm sure in your neighborhood you guys have an old school butcher where you walk in and there's a bunch of guys, no gloves, big white aprons, and there's Frank and there's Stevie and there's Mikey. And these guys know more about meat and more about animals and more about cooking the meat than any of us will ever learn. And so you walk in and you say, hey, Lou, I need to, I'm barbecuing this weekend, right? What do you like? And Lou goes to the big racks of stuff he has underneath the glass, and he goes, the veal chops, just in from Argentina, they are the bomb. And you go, veal? Oh, I like veal. Well, what do you got on skirt steak? Oh, we got some great skirt steak. Just came in yesterday from Montana.
Welcome back to On the Money here on WDBO AM 580, always streaming inside your WDBO app. If you got a question for the team at Certified Financial Group, well, I have the team at Certified Financial Group. We got Chris Toadvine and Joe Bert, two certified financial planners. Pick up the phone right now. Dial in 844-580-9326. 844-580 WDBO, or you can send in your open mic using the free WDBO app. Or if you're more of a face-to-face person, you can go ahead and visit the fancy offices of Certified Financial Group for some of their workshops.
Coming up a week from Wednesday, Dave Bella Christian and Rodney Ownby.
I think that's next Saturday.
Yeah.
Right, next
No,
Saturday.
it's a week from Wednesday. Oh, wait a minute. No, you're
March
right.
29th.
Oh, yeah,
March
yeah,
29th.
March 29th.
Here we go. This is live radio, folks. March
Straighten
29th.
me out.
We have Dave and Rodney. That's
Yes,
right.
Dave.
A week from today,
Yes,
Dave and
Dave and
Rodney,
Rodney,
right here at the world headquarters of Certified Financial Group.
March
They're
29th.
talking about smart retirement blueprint from
Right.
paychecks to playchecks, planning, protecting, and preserving your wealth. So that's a week from today. And then we have on the Wednesday, April the 9th, we have Charles Curry and Wynn Smith, who are hosting a workshop talking about getting long-term care planning right, smart approaches. So there you go. So we have one next Saturday, and then April 9th is a Wednesday night.
And we have one this Wednesday. No, we don't. No, I think that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it for now, folks. We'll figure out if we got one. Stay tuned.
It's all good.
Quickly.
It's all
around here,
good
I'll
stuff.
tell you. That's right.
Anyway,
So.
we have Kathy on the phone there.
Hey, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
I have a question. I have a lot of loving, kind friends who are giving me all kinds of advice, and I know how you feel about that. And I feel the same, so I'm calling the experts. I've got a house that I've owned for almost 29 years this May, outside of Orlando, and I want to sell it and move up to the Panhandle near my daughter. And the cost of living is a lot cheaper. So I've been told all kinds of things about how if I sell it, I could lose what's over and above the cost of the house, and if there were exemptions. I did file a part of the puzzle, a Chapter 7 bankruptcy in March of 2000. So it's only been 5 years this year. And so my question is, am I protected in any way? I'd like to take the extra money and put it in a retirement account. People tell me, oh, no, you have to buy a house. You can't touch the money. And I don't see why, if I didn't want to buy a house at all, if I wanted to rent, that I can't just keep my money. Or do you know the situation with that? Does that make sense?
We do know the situation. And, it's funny how that old law, still people believe that. You have to rule the gain that you have the house and you can. Now, that's not the rule anymore. First of all, are you single, Kathy?
Divorced.
You're
yes.
divorced. Okay. So
Back in 2011,
so
the house is mine.
Okay.
And you've been living in the house, Kat. I'm sorry, but you've been living in the house
For 29 years.
Gotcha. Okay.
29 years.
Got it.
So
Okay.
the good news,
Built it.
good news is, Kathy, is that you are entitled to a profit on your house over and above your cost basis, and that includes what you paid for the house plus any major improvements. That doesn't mean that you did remodeling, but you put an addition on or a swimming pool, all that stuff. Over and above that, a gain of $250,000 you can put in your pocket, walk away, and do with it as you please.
Plus what I paid, $140.
You paid $140. Yes, that's correct.
So if you paid $140, but you got it. Here's what I have found, Kathy, is folks who live in houses for 29 years often do things that would be considered improvements, and they don't, necessarily account for that. So just be sure you have. But so 140, if that were the number, plus 250 is 390. So in other words, anything that you would receive in the way of sales proceeds over, let's say, 390, you would be subject to taxes on.
And that includes the closing costs. You don't, you have to subtract that. That's not part of your gain.
Does that make
Okay,
sense?
so taxes, so just ordinary income taxes is what I would pay.
No.
Or anything over that.
Yes, that's correct.
Over that, over 390. But basically, if I want, say I got 390 for it, I could just take that money and put it in a retirement account.
No, Matt. No,
Well, hang on a minute. Let's just define, because we may be talking apples and oranges, retirement account. So you can definitely take that money and put it in an investment account. Some people, Kathy, and I think what Joe is hearing with retirement account would be like a 401k or something. You couldn't do that. You could put, depending on your situation, you might be able to fund an IRA or a Roth IRA. Are you self-employed or do you work for someone else?
Actually, I recently just left my long-term job.
Okay.
Not that I wanted to, but I'm in a situation. That's why I'm thinking about moving.
Sure.
So if you could explain to me about why can't I sell my house and keep the money and go do whatever I want with it?
You can. See, here's Mark Twain said, I'm paraphrasing a little bit here. It's not what you know that's a problem. It's what you know that's not so, right? And I think that's where some of your friends might be falling. You can take the money and do whatever you want with it. It's your money. It's your house. So yes, you can.
Right.
Now, when you say retirement account, like I say, I mean that for many, when they hear retirement account, that's a 401k or a 403b. It's a specific type of account. You cannot take the money and put it in a 401k type account, okay? Because there are limits and all that. There's rules around what you can do there. But you can put it in an investment account or a bank account, and you can put that money to work for yourself. And it's your money. You can do what you want. Now you have to recognize any gain above what we said was roughly 390 or whatever your number ends up being. You have to include that on your tax return, and you may pay taxes on it. You may not if you're not working, though, depending on how much it is. But look, if you made a big profit, yeah. So now go ahead, Joe.
So you can, if you're working, you can put it into an IRA. Okay, perhaps depending on what your income is, but you have a limitation on that as well. You can't take all that profit and dump it in a lump sum. If you go to work where somebody has a retirement plan, you can maximize the contribution to your retirement plan through your paycheck. In other words, you're going to bring home very little money, but what you're going to do is live off the house proceeds. So it's one way of taking it out of one pocket and putting it into another and getting a tax deduction along the way. You see what I'm saying, Kathy? So that's another way to do it. But you cannot take that lump sum and put it into a retirement account.
Right.
Yes.
No, I know there's limits based on my age and the catch up and all that because I have a very small amount that I rolled over from my job into. I have an IRA that I rolled over.
Okay, good.
It went into a Schwab account because that was the only option because it was private company stock.
Okay.
Not to be too specific, so I have that, but it's not a ton. But I know I can put up to like $6,000 or $8,000 a year or something based on my age.
Yes,
I'm
8,000.
63.
8,000.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Well, that kind of clears it up. So I know I can't just dump it in. I know there are limits and everything, but I could take it and put it in an investment account.
Exactly.
You can do that.
Put it in,
Right.
Now, the only other thing I wanted to briefly touch on is the bankruptcy. So that's, I am not an attorney and I don't know with a Chapter 7.
Oh, you're cleared. With Chapter 7, you're done. You're right. Everything's been satisfied, I presume.
It's settled and satisfied. I even called my bankruptcy attorney to check on it. And, But he wasn't super familiar. But there's no provisions. It was clean, clear, straight bankruptcy.
Yeah, Chapter 7 it would be.
Because of the separation, there was a lot of debt, and that was the only way to go, which is very sad. But it is what it is.
Yep.
But I'm just concerned. And I do intend to buy a house up there. But I've looked at the houses, and they're cheaper. They're a really nice house is $200,000.
Oh wow!
So I should have extra.
Good.
Well, that's good.
Hopefully.
Yeah. What part of the Panhandle, Kathy?
Crossing fingers. Tallahassee.
Okay, cool. Very good.
Yeah. I'd rather be Pensacola, but that's where my daughter lives. So go Knowles. Yeah, I am a Knoll too. So
going back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, kind of. Yeah, it's pretty old up there though. It's a little different from down here. So,
very different. Yeah. Yeah. It feels like the South.
Yeah.
Up there. Yeah. So
it does. But and I also heard that on the news that I don't know if there's any truth to this that Governor DeSantis said that there's going to be a correction in the housing market. So I probably sold when the getting was good, but I don't know if you guys have heard that or not. That they're going to.
Hey, Kathy, can I let you in on a little secret? Can I let you in on a little secret?
Listen to what I hear on the radio.
Don't tell anyone this, okay? No one knows if there's going to be a correction. Okay, so that's and the thing that we have going for us down here is just look outside right now, sunshine, lots of sunshine. Yeah. So I've seen lots of out-of-state tags here this week. I know it's spring break in many places, but when someone starts predicting corrections and that sort of thing, I always give pause. So even with Governor DeSantis, he's a bright guy, but hey, I don't think he knows what the housing market's going to do. So I would not center my life around prognostications, so.
Yeah, I know stories become big, giant stories.
That's right.
I don't listen. I mean, you guys have, educated me so much that I know a little bit.
Well, good for
I know
you.
not to listen to my friend's advice.
All right. Hey, Kathy, by the way, when you move up to Tallahassee, you can pick us up there, So if you're Saturday mornings,
Oh, that's great. I was thinking about that because I love DBO. I've been listening to it for years. And
Great.
I'm one of those people. I have a radio on top of my refrigerator, like my grandmother had when I was a little girl.
Yeah.
So listen to Paul Harvey.
Do you have
listen to Paul Harvey every time.
I love that guy.
Kathy, do you have an Alexa?
An Alexa?
Yes.
Well, I do, but I don't. It's not set up, and I don't really like it.
Okay.
I've heard all the negatives about it. So anyway, hopefully I can pick up DBO up there.
Oh, you can.
Bose Radio.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can. You can do it on the app. You can do it online. You can do it on your phone. Yeah, there's all different.
Yeah, I have the app.
Yeah, there you go. So hey, listen, call us when you get up there and tell us how things are going.
Yeah, Kathy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going to come to one of your Social Security talks soon. I think you got one coming on a Saturday or something.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
when we get over there.
All right,
that'd be good.
Yeah, and I used to work right there on I-4 and 434 for a doctor there.
Oh.
So I know where you guys are.
Yeah, Kathy, we'll hope to see you.
And my mom lives in the Springs.
Oh,
so she's real close.
Right around the corner. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I see your new building. I saw your old building. I see your new building now.
Yeah.
Which is not so new anymore, I suppose. But
we've been in this old building now for 20 years. Yeah. Yep. But we just remodeled it about 3 years ago. So we look forward to seeing you here, Kathy, and we wish you well on your transition.
Yeah, Kathy. Thanks for calling.
Thanks for the call.
Thank you so much for all your help. And who is that? Bella Christian?
Bella Christian, yes.
I called him one time. I want to say to you, he is amazing, because I had called the office about a month ago when I was getting ready to roll over my IRA, and I was very nervous. I had never done anything like that, rolling it over. I'm telling you what, he was so amazing. He even checked on information and called me back, so I give him all the, give him a raise. He's great.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
He is a good guy. And thank you for the kudos, Kathy. All right, best wishes to you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Josh, we never got to the topic this morning. So the topic is, Josh, are you there?
I'm here.
Right.
We got it. Today's topic is a new word. And by the way, thank you for all the kind words, Kathy. If you want to call in 844-580-9326. The topic of today's show is solopreneur. How can you still reduce your taxable income and taxes for 2024?
This is a new term.
Well, there you go.
A new term you coined? Yeah?
No, this is not my term. This is not my term. So, but it sounds like we can all learn a little something today. Hey, this is like the proverbial Reese peanut butter cup guy. So most people know what solo is, right? Solo means one.
Right.
And entrepreneur, many know what that is. Someone who starts or runs a business. And so you put the two together and you have a solopreneur. So, and there are a lot of small business. I was thinking about small business, Joe. And, I think many people, when we think about business, you think like, okay, Costco, Walmart, Target, these big employers, they employ most of the people. Get this. Small businesses make up 99.9% of all U.S. firms. Small businesses.
Wow. That's an interesting statistic. Yeah. We stop to think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Small, medium-sized enterprise, the backbone of the world economy, with over 400 million worldwide. How about that? So nonetheless, small business is a substantial part of the economy. And really what I wanted to briefly at this point talk about today is an opportunity that for those who qualify, and that would be small business people, where it's just them. And who is that, Joe? That could be the yard guy. That could be an attorney, architect, other professionals, a lot of salespeople, manufacturers, reps, these kinds of folks, a lot of real estate professionals.
Yep. And we're going to talk about the advantages and opportunities you have right after the break. Right after the break, right, Josh?
Yeah.
You got it. If you want to join in, 844-580-9326. You're listening to On the Money, where we're planning today with the Certified Financial Group.
What is a fiduciary? When it comes to investing, a fiduciary is legally required to act in your best interest. For 40 years, planners at Certified Financial Group have been guiding our local clients toward financial peace of mind. The rest of the world is still catching up, but our team of certified financial planners are the local, experienced fiduciaries you can trust. Certified Financial Group are your Central Florida planners. Call us today.
40 years ago, I had a dream of building the best personal financial consulting firm in Central Florida. Now, with 14 certified financial planners acting as fiduciaries, I believe we're there. But don't take my word for it.
As we approach retirement, we have the freedom of choice.
Peace of mind that we now have, that's everything to us.
The people that work here are honest and caring, and I feel like I can go to sleep at night.
So schedule your no-obligation visit today at financialgroup.com, or we're planning tomorrow. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries, have been providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. Our fiduciary approach of providing retirement planning and investment management for a fee seems to resonate with our clients. But don't take my word for it.
I knew a gentleman that I worked with who had come to Certified Financial Group.
A friend of mine recommended them, and they were totally correct how good they are.
I had heard from somebody else that it was the best one in town.
I've sent several of my teacher friends here.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. You may be new to the area, but we're not. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries, have been providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. Black Monday, the dot-com bust, 9/11, and now 2 wars. We've pretty much seen it all. Acting as fiduciaries, our CFP professionals have been a steady hand guiding our clients to and through their retirement years.
No reason to be worried about anything.
Stay the course. You stay the course, and you get there.
I don't have to worry about it like I know a lot of people look at it every day. I don't have to do that with the team here at Certified Financial Group.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. Are you tired of trying to reach your advisor through a call center and being put on hold for 20 minutes? That's why we don't use one, and our clients seem to appreciate the personal touch.
They always answer my questions and really care about what's going on with me.
You can trust what they say, and they do what they say, and it gives you a comfort feeling it's hard to find in the world today.
You know, waiting for you to call almost. You almost feel like that.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today.
Welcome back to On the Money here on WDBO AM 580, always streaming inside your WDBO app. If you want to join the conversation, just a few minutes left, 844-580-9326. But a more important number for this moment of the show is their office number, where Charles Curry is standing by, basically your own private radio show. If you call this number, 407-869-9800, 407-869-9800. 9800. We got Chris Toadvine and Joe Bert wrapping up an hour.
Yes, we do, Josh. And I tell you, I'm gonna talk fast, so hopefully our listeners have their New York ears on here, because the topic of the day was around solopreneurs and how they can reduce their taxes for last year. You know, most people know that once you finish a tax year, there's not much you can do to affect your income or the amount of taxes you pay. But for folks who are self-employed, where it's just them or them and a spouse, there is a tremendous opportunity. And the punchline is that for last year, they can sock away up to $69,000, or if they're over 50, $76,500, Joe.
Yep.
To reduce their income. So can you imagine reducing your income by that much?
Yep.
Now, obviously, you have to have the income, you have to have the money, and not everyone would do that much. I've done 2 of these in the last couple of weeks, Joe. And so the Secure Act 2.0 gave us a little gift that did not exist previously, and it allows folks to open a solo or individual 401k up to their tax filing deadline. So that deadline is coming up here in just a few short weeks. But for those who qualify, and it also allows for contributions for the prior year, both salary deferral and profit sharing. And so we don't have time to necessarily get into the mechanics of those, but I think the big idea here is if we have listeners out there who fall into that category and who don't have a retirement plan, and who have some funds that you'd like to sock away for the future to secure your own retirement, you can still do that. So, and it's a lot of potential savings, Joe, a lot of savings.
And on top of the traditional ones, for those that are very fortunate and have a very, very nice income and are looking for tax deductions, you can do what's called a cash balance plan. And with a cash balance plan, if you're in your 60s, you can get more than $250,000 per year into that plan, tax deductible. So it takes a little bit more work to set it up. Got to hire an actuary, but the cost savings is phenomenal. And for those folks that are in that age bracket, tax bracket, you definitely want to look at that if that's something. If you have that kind of income on a steady basis and you're looking for the big, safe tax deduction, it's a beautiful plan to set up. So they're all kind of things.
And something you can commit to for several years,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So
correct.
that's
That's
something
correct,
you
yeah.
ideally, whereas the solo K, the threshold's not as high, but you've got a lot more latitude if your income is variable and what have you. But you're right. Yeah, the cash balance is a huge opportunity. And then as the Wall Street Journal pointed this out briefly, I think a couple weeks ago, related to cash balance plans and all retirement plans is, hey, you have to think about unwinding that at some point, right? So this is where the planning comes in, Joe, whether it's the individual 401k, cash balance plan, or traditional IRA or Roth IRA. This is where the planning comes in to say, hey, what can I do now? But what I can do is not always what I should be doing, and also with an eye to the future, because we get to see how some of these things unwind. And sometimes they're more enticing on the front end, like our conversation about the index annuity, than down the road. But that's where the wisdom and experience of folks like ourselves and the planners here really comes into play, because we get the catbird seat and are able to look at, not only what can you do today, but how does this play out, through time and over your lifetime when you have to unwind it, practically and tax-wise.
Yeah, I think the key takeaway is that your retirement plan, whether it's one that you have on your own as an entrepreneur, one through your employer, is really the foundation for your retirement, because Social Security is not going to cut it. Unless you have a pension, you really need to take maximum advantage of the tax laws, get that money tax deductible today, and allow it to grow for you on a tax-deferred basis. And I hear the bumper music. We're about to take it away. For those that are interested in the upcoming workshops, go to our website, financialgroup.com. That's financialgroup.com. Click on events. You can make your reservation right there.
Thank you so much, Chris Toadvine, Joe Bert with the Certified Financial Group, Charles Curry standing by in the office there, answering your calls if a question popped into your head just now and the show is over. But Charles is just beginning. 407-869-9800. That's 407-869-9800. You've just listened to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow
today
with the Certified Financial Group.